Guys, it's Zed makes GP back here with another video. Today I'm going to teach you what I consider to be one of the most important skills in the game of RuneScape, and that's not actually a skill. It is how to utilize the Grand Exchange information and create your own and find your own flips that work for you. Um, and that way you'll be making your own money without following someone else's guides. The prices might have changed because really the only way to flip items is to find your own items to flip and do it on more or less on your own or with a couple of friends because too many people get doing it, the prices get all scattered and doesn't make profit. So the first thing you're going to want to do is decide, how much money you want to spend and what's worth flipping. So if you'll see, I came from Google, I just searched old school RS Grand Exchange. First link that comes up, you'll get a Grand Exchange homepage. Um, Now the price rises and falls if you click these most valuable trades, most traded. They're useful, but not for the kind of flipping I'm going to be talking about today. These are more useful for long-term investment, and I'm going to explain that why in a second part, just because I feel there's so much to cover already. So for now, we're going to ignore those, and you're going to want to think of prices or things that are frequently used by players. So this might be of use, the most traded. But a lot of the items that come up are low items that have a pretty stable price, so we won't really worry about those. But what you're going to want to do is find or think of an item that's useful that's a little bit higher in price. So if we'll notice all of these are fairly low. These are, supplies, right? Supplies for chips. So they're kind of useless to look at that for now. We'll come back to that, like I said, in the long-term investment video. So what you want to do is think of items that you use frequently around your price range. So I know something that's traded a lot that I pulled up is rune armor, right? So a good thing to trade depending on how much money you have is sets. So checking all sets. You can go from rune sets to any of the barrow sets, varying on the amount of bank you had. The other thing I would say is keep in mind this is a risk and it's a skill you're going to have to learn how to actually utilize. So you will be perhaps losing some money and gaining some money, especially when you're just starting to learn out. But the goal is by the end to gain a lot more money than you lose, which actually becomes easy. But the reason looking at these guides is so important is because this chart they give you, as well as how much the item is traded. So if you'll see rune sets are traded, around 1 to 2K a day on average or so. But the most important is definitely this set or this graph here, is because it's going to tell us what the pattern has been doing for the rune set. So here we'll notice in the 1 month change, it's actually gone down overall, but just a very small amount. So you think it would be steady, but really it doesn't seem to be that steady. And if you look in the long run, it's gone down quite a bit. So here, although it may look promising, like it's going up, it's always dangerous to buy on an uphill because if you look, that uphill could definitely be a crash, right? Okay, so we've seen several big crashes. So something like that's up this high is not something I would particularly do a flip on or investment on. I would maybe go for something when it was crashing a little bit down here, or maybe in the first up, where you can buy them for 140, 4K. I would imagine they're going for, and then as they're coming up here, they're probably selling. You could probably sell in the G for 154. Depends on how bad someone wants one. So for me, this wouldn't be a good item at all to flip. At least not at the time being because of the charts. Now we have a look at the Rune two-hander. Right here. So it's got almost the same pattern of change. But the thing about these ones is they're sold a lot more frequently, which means a lot of people who are doing F2P PKing, we're looking at 15, 20,000 of them sold on a average basis, right? 25,000. They're just going to buy them for max because they want to get out there and use them for fun, right? So that's a good thing to think about when you're perhaps investing in, let's say, 100 of these long swords. You're going to be putting in around 4 mil. Um, and again, be prepared to lose some of that money, but you'll never lose all of it, and hopefully you'll actually be making more. So when we look back a little bit, we notice, oh, okay, even though it is on an up peak, the rest of it's been pretty high. It's this up peak right here is some of it's the lowest it's ever been, right? So let's see even further back. So it looks like it's only gone down, which is really for such a popular item a good thing, especially if you take into consideration uh, what its elk price might be. So to check that, we might go old school RS, rune, two-hander, sword, and wiki will come up, and we will see that it elks for high elks for 38.4k. So you know it's never gonna go below 38.4k, because after that it's elkable, right? So 40k looks like a really good time to invest in these, right? So that's maybe something I would buy 100 of. You invest 4 mil and you sell them for 45, 46k, um, and you're looking at a profit of 60k, and that's just in a day. Uh, but again, or sorry, 600k, right? And that's just in a day. If you buy 100, you make a profit a day or two of waiting, right? You're making 600k profit. So let's have a look at some of the members items that we can flip then here. So dragon boots are always a popular one, because of how much they're traded as well, right? Around 10,000, and they're a good price range. But if we look at the graph, yep, we can see that does not look like a safe time to buy, because it looks like it can do really nothing but go down. Now there are the odd times that something crazy happens, and next thing you know, dragon boots are at 400k. Oh well, I should have invested. But the idea is to take safe risks. How could you have known that? Why would it ever appear that it's going to go that high up, right? The odds are very slim. So you want to play always with the odds in your favor. So no dragon boots. Hey, let's try bandos boots. The next one's up. Okay, so this trend is looking super plausible, a good trend, because it's looking to dip down just a little, and of course lots are still traded in the thousands a day. And let's see what the 3 month looks like. Okay, maybe not. Do I want to play a risk? So where the dragon boots, I would have definitely say no, I'm not going to risk it. Here, looking at this chart, I mean, we're sitting at 277. Looks like one of the lowest is 210, 220 or so. Um, so do I want to risk maybe buying in at 276, let's say, 275k, and trying to turn around and sell them for 300? Do I think it'll do a dip up? That's a risk or investment I would probably take. That's maybe 5 days or so. You might have to wait a bit. And again, it is a risk. So some of the other popular ones, we'll just go through these ones quick. Darrock Axe looks pretty unstable to me right now, but that might be a longer term investment, because even though on the 1 month it looks like it can't do anything but go down, on the 6 month we see that it's actually pretty low, and there's a good chance it might head back up. And again, one of those items that are traded quite frequently for such an expensive item as well, right? And finally, the Carol's crossbow, which, to be honest, I'll just be straight up with you guys. I actually am doing a small flip on these right now, and I just put it in today. So we'll see how that works out. But if you look at this chart, like I said, close to the Derex X as well. Even though on the 1 month it looks like it's going to go down and you might lose money, you wait a couple days and you look like you're going to have a peak in there and be able to earn at least 10k flip if you're, I bought them. I'm trying to buy them for around 150, 155 or so, and I'll end up putting them back in for about 170. 10 of them make 150k. Might take a couple days, but like I said, it just depends on how much money you want to invest. Imagine you bought 100, you're making 1.5 mil. Of course, that's a hefty investment of 15 mil, but it is worth it in the long run, and if you got change to spare. So I hope that this helped you understand a little bit better how to actually find flips, and and the whole idea of flipping and what it is. It's not just guessing an item or buying it and trying to sell it higher. It's really utilizing the graphics in the charts like you would a stock exchange, if anyone's familiar with that. And and playing out to predicting the future. And of course, no one can be 100%. Because that's just impossible. It doesn't happen in real life. But the idea is to be more successful than not. So if you're like me, I keep track on a notepad of every flip or purchase I've done. I take screenshots of the ones that work and sometimes the ones that fail. And I see an overall profit, and hopefully you guys can too. If you're just starting out, I can't stress enough to start small. You'd rather lose a couple K than a couple 100K or a couple mil if you're not used to flipping. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for part 2. It's going to be a low cost investment, high risk, high reward, longer wait. But that's when you really start to get into taking 2 mil and turning it into 5, 10 mil by trying to wait for the item to double its profit, and you're investing in low cost items. So you might lose quite a bit of money, but you also might make 10 times that amount. And as for where I've been lately, I've just been on a huge mission for a visage, which you're going to see I'm making a video of. I'm killing at least 1,000 dragons, and I've got something special coming up. I'm just waiting for a crap ton of stuff to buy in the Grand Exchange. So please, if you like this, give it a like. Stay tuned for more. Thanks. Bye.